Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do our February the 23rd spiritual principle a day in a meditation. Now, let's go ahead and get into that. I had a good time doing the other meditation, so I'm excited to see what this has for us. The title of the meditation, A Crash Course in Hope. While abstinence is the beginning, our only hope for recovery is a profound emotional and spiritual change. Being new in NA is a crash course in hope. At first, our hope only needs to last as long as the distance to our phone. When that obsession to use clouds our commitment to staying clean today, will we call a new friend in NA or our dealer? We hope for the former, but most of us in early days have reservations. Do we even want to stop using? Can we? In a meeting, someone shares, hope is an acronym for hold on, pain ends. Yikes. More like hell on planet Earth. Others of us are sure that we're done with using forever and ever and ever. But when we're told by someone to slow our roll, as it's just for today around here, if that's the case, do we even dare to hope for a better life beyond the one we can see for tomorrow? Soon we hear and eventually absorb the idea that abstinence does not equal recovery. Our disease doesn't just manifest physically in our reliance on drugs and messed up behaviors, an NA member clarifies. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual too. So we need solutions that touch all of it. When we stop using, it's merely the start of our recovery. Our hope evolves to a deeper version, hearing other people's experience. We transition from merely wanting some short-term relief from our obsessions and destructive behaviors to desiring significant change in other areas of our lives that we believe might be possible based on observations from other members' long-term experience. They did the work, so can I. We don't passively hope for meaningful recovery beyond abstinence. We treat our addiction with the program and principles of NA. We learn to let go of our self-obsession and embrace humility through working the steps. Application of the tradition in our lives leads us to contribute to the greater good of NA in our communities. Hope becomes helping other people every day. Hope helps me to be abstinent today as I continue to treat my whole disease with vigilance and perseverance. I will keep hope alive, deepening and sustaining my recovery. What a long meditation. But a beautiful one, right? Talking about a crash course in hope. And it was definitely a crash course in the topic of hope. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer and dig into this. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to I need to start that over, guys. Sorry about that. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Well, you know by now that I am not going to retape over messing that up. So just just be praying for me today. My mind, as I was saying that serenity prayer, my mind was on the other meditation, which was talking about being able to practice, anonymity and separate the message from the messenger. And in that moment that I was beginning the serenity prayer, quite honestly, I was trying to figure out the messenger for this particular meditation. And I thought to myself, sometimes you can have too many people, too many hands in the pot, too many people trying to write the same message, right? And I thought to myself, this was a difficult meditation for me to read for some reason. And I think it's because of the way that all of this was produced, right? Where they actually sent the rough draft out and allowed the groups to give input. And so they kept tweaking and it took years, kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking the meditation book, the different days of it, and getting it to where it was something that could be approved by everyone. And I just really think that this has a different types of writing in it. And it was very, very difficult. And you know me, I overanalyze all the time when it comes to these meditations because I am also a writer, right? And I just really felt that this had a lot of, are y'all praying for me? Newcomer, if you're out there, this is what we do sometimes, right? We shoot the messenger. I just really felt like this meditation had way too many run-on sentences. There was one sentence in here I had to breathe like 4 times just to get through it. And then it had a nerve to have a comma and then continue. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, so that's my rant. We're talking about a crash course in hope and how initially it becomes just a matter of just not using, right? Trying not to use from day to day. But at some point in time, if we're being honest, the obsession or the thought, or maybe it's better said that the obsession to use drugs is not always removed immediately or even slowly for some people. At some point in time, you'll have a using dream, or you will be thinking about the people that you used to use with, and, quite honestly, missing that atmosphere of using to some degree. And what will you do? That's what it comes down to, because when we're talking about hope, and we talk about we're doing this just for today, does that mean I can't have hope for tomorrow or next month? No, 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 not at all. There's a balance. We don't want to project so far into the future about our recovery that there's no room for when things come up. We're holding ourselves to this hard line that we don't even allow ourselves to feel our emotions. We avoid them because we have established this high expectation that everything's going to be marvelous, and no matter what happens, I'm just not going to use. Okay. Until you have a using dream, then what do you do? Until you have an urge to use, then what do you do? Till you have 10 years clean and you lose a loved one, or you have a car accident and you have to make a decision about now that the surgery is over and the pain medication that they've given me for is no longer working the way that it did two weeks ago. Are you going to flip that script? Are you going to allow yourself to start being weaned off of that pain medication? These are things that will come up in your recovery. They will come up. And at some point in time, your hope just for today is going to need to be hope right in that moment. And what will you do? Right? I love all the acronyms that they have here. right? I love all of the acronyms for hope that they use. But the one I like the most, the one that I like the most is not hold on, pain ends. It's not hell on planet Earth. It's not even helping other people every day. The one that I like the most, hearing other people's experience. That's my vocation, right? That's what I do for a living, counseling. So listening to other people and helping them, right? So kind of helping other people every day. So helping them find the hope in their experience. And that's what we have to do, guys. We have to do it. You guys, I'm telling you, when I was in Iowa, for instance, yesterday was such a tough day. There was no way I could record and follow through with the things that I needed to do for my family yesterday, right? So I had to find the recordings in my files from last year and use those. That was yesterday. And occasionally I permit myself to do that, right? But when I know that I have something that's going to take my voice away and I'm not going to function, I will pre-record the week of and make sure that it's ready for you. It will already be scheduled to release at midnight. And I had that opportunity yesterday. Okay. So technically, with that in mind, knowing that I was going to be engaged in a highly emotionally surged atmosphere for my father's death, his funeral, I would have recorded it in advance and scheduled it to release over those 3 or 4 days. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, I held on to the hope that you guys give me. I held on to that hope. I knew that I was going to need to do a live recording every morning like clockwork in order to push myself through the funeral process. You guys were my hope. And a lot of times we will find that our interaction with someone that believes in us, has faith in us, becomes our day-to-day hope. And it may only be for a season. It may only be for a season. But my goal would be for you to recognize hope when you see it. And in order to recognize hope when you see it, you have got to have spiritual principles in place that allow you to push past what your eyes physically see and recognize the spiritual principle of hope. Not only when you see it in the sense, but when you feel it. You have to be able to do that. And that takes you back to the Just for Today for the 23rd of February, right? Being able to hear the message and push past the messenger when you have a problem. I want for you to have a beautiful day today. I could go on and on and on, but truly, I have had a beautiful time engaging with you today. I want you to have a beautiful day on purpose because, as you know, if you don't do it, no one can do it for you. This is something that you have to do. Be able to see the hope, feel the hope, believe in the hope, have the faith, feel the faith, believe in the faith. That you too can have a beautiful day no matter what comes down the pike. You can do it. Talk to you soon.